want to change it?
No.
I have that it's 7:15. We'll now call the meeting to order, December 11th, 2023.
I have one item to bring up this evening, Madam Chair. We had a resolution on the agenda under new business authorizing staff to advertise a public hearing to extend the countywide burn ban for open fires. That has been removed, so if anyone saw that that was on the agenda, it has been removed and will be replaced with a resolution to end the countywide open air burn ban.
Thank you. At this time, if I can ask you, County Administrator, Ms. Angie Hill, if you will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
Please join me for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge. Let us pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Presentation, recognitions, and awards. We have Virginia Association of Counties Achievement Awards, and I think we have Mr. Joe Lurch. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. I'm Joe Lurch, VACO Director of Local Government Policy, and I'm privileged to be here tonight to present you all with your achievement awards this year. I'll just say a few words about VACO for some of your citizens and constituents who might know. We've been around since 1934 to serve the interests of Virginia counties. We primarily do this through our advocacy efforts, both at the state and even at the federal level. But we also have education programs, member services, and communications. We established the Achievement Award program in 2003. So this is now coming on 20 plus years. This is our 21st annual Achievement Awards program. This year we received 135 entries, quite a bit, and 33 winners were selected from 20 counties. So if you think about it, it's truly a competitive program in that less than 25% of the entries make the awards. So very excited for 2 awards. This is your 8th and 9th award for Montgomery County. A little bit of that history there. You got your first award in 2005, your second award in 2010, and then starting in 2018 to this year, you've won 6 in a row. So I'm expecting someone will be back here again next year. And I will say, I think we got some oohs and ahs about these. These are our new plaques this year, so this is fun to present these as well. It is Christmas time, so I feel that joy. You know, when our judges look at these, they look for innovation, they look for replicability, they look for intergovernmental cooperation, things of these nature. And I think the 2 awards you get tonight are really going to highlight that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to speak about each award briefly, and then after I speak about one, you'll have somebody here that can speak a lot more knowledgeably than I can. So the 2 awards. So the first award goes to the Employee Engagement Committee. And in reading this application, it was kind of neat. You have over 600 employees that are kind of dispersed throughout the county in 12 different locations. And that makes it hard to kind of build that camaraderie. And what I could see with this application, especially in 2018, you had 18 events that really brought people together that may have not participated before. And I love the pictures in there in the application, although I would say that the Ugly Sweater Day on December 16th, I did not see any pictures. So I was a little disappointed in that. But I think what it really truly showed is the county and its employees really coming together to develop that camaraderie, which really I think has benefits throughout the organization in the county. So with that, I'm going to call up is Amy Marshall to speak more about that.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Amy Marshall, and I lead Montgomery County's Employee Engagement Committee. With me tonight are several dedicated employees who also serve on the Employee Engagement Committee, which has now grown to include 21 members, all from various offices and departments. For those of you who don't know how this committee came to be, I'd like to share some background information with you. While we all know that Montgomery County is a great place to live and work, in 2021, county leadership realized that more could be done to enhance our organizational culture and working environment. As a result, the Employee Engagement Committee, also known as the EEC, was formed later that year. The purpose of the EEC is to provide opportunities for all Montgomery County employees, regardless of their physical work location, to have fun and engaging experiences. We like to say that our unofficial motto is having fun in the workplace with zero strings attached. In 2022, our committee planned 18 activities and events for employees. This year, we've added even more events and activities. The renewed sense of camaraderie and engagement is obvious throughout our organization. Employees continue to share with us how much they appreciate the activities we plan and the working environment at Montgomery County. On behalf of the Employee Engagement Committee, please know it's our pleasure to serve Montgomery County in this way. We sincerely appreciate all of your Board of Supervisors' support and the recognition received from the Virginia Association of Counties tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. All right, so the second award goes for the wetland mitigation project for Crab Creek. You know, in reading over this application, it was interesting to find out that this is the first time you've been approached about a wetland mitigation bank in the county. And so you really had to think about, okay, how do we fit this in with our land use and our applications, and how does it benefit the county? And I think what you've really crafted here is an ordinance and a project that does all of those things. You know, there's, I think, an additional 5 acres of wetlands being created that's going to be under easement, but there was also the 4,000 plus linear feet of Crab Creek that was being redone. And just in my experience in working with cities and counties over my professional career, I really love stream mitigation projects. When you restore that sinuosity to the creek, you get the vegetation there, the wildlife comes back. It really has a big benefit. Of course, in this case, you have a benefit to the applicant who now can offer these credits as mitigation for development. You have the benefits to the wildlife. But one thing I thought was really interesting in here is the property owners around there, they're in a FEMA flood zone. And this is helping to mitigate some of those flood impacts, which I think is really critical. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bree Hopkins to speak about this project.
Good evening. On behalf of the Planning and GIS team, I am honored to accept the Virginia Association of Counties Achievement Award for our work on the Crab Creek Mitigation Bank project. This project is a great example of how a collaboration and a good private-public relationship can bring about significant change and benefit the community. In 2021, Montgomery County was approached with a proposal to create a wetland mitigation bank, and we discovered that the use was not defined in our county zoning ordinance. After substantial research on how other localities throughout Virginia contend with this type of use, an amendment to the zoning ordinance allowing the mitigation bank use was presented to the local governing body. The amendment received approval in the spring of 2021, and then staff began working with the applicant to process their application in 2022. The request to expand the mitigation bank, which had been developed under previous regulations, and to restore 4,000 linear feet of Crab Creek allowed for an increased number of tax credits, which would be available for sale throughout the watershed, and the area would be protected in perpetuity. Not only did this particular applicant benefit from the approved application, but future developers and businesses now have the potential to benefit through tax credits should their applications be approved. These credits are vital to area developers, as Montgomery County is one of the fastest growing localities in the state of Virginia. The environmental benefits to Crab Creek were also very substantial. Natural habitats were restored, flood hazards were mitigated, and there is now a guaranteed open preserve space in that community. Without the combined efforts of everyone involved, this restoration would not have become a reality. And with that, I would like to thank the Department of Public Information for their drone work that they had for us, Department of Environmental Services for assisting with the erosion, sediment control, and stormwater functions, my Planning and GIS Services staff, the Planning Commission, and the Montgomery County Board of Supervisors for making this application a success. This is an illustration of how a well-planned and well-guided project can benefit the entire community while protecting and enhancing an area's natural resources. Thank you.
Well, with that, I would say thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, for having me here tonight. This has been a pleasure. And I expect somebody will be back here for the 7th year in a row, whether it's me or somebody else on staff. So thank you.
Board, I'd like to again just thank our wonderful dedicated employees, Planning and GIS Services, and the Employment Engagement Committee. These awards are just an example of the testament that you all give to each other and to the excellent service that you give to our citizens. And there's no wonder the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce named Montgomery County as the 2023 one of the best places to work. So thank you all for your dedication. Thank you. All right, next up, Virginia Department of Transportation, Mr. Clark.
Good evening. Just a few maintenance items. We have been able to do a bit of variety despite the weather of maintenance projects here in the last month between various weather events, particularly last night. Had our full crews out last night, and a couple other weather-related things that had our crews working some odd hours. But a lot of just the machining roads. Now that we finally got some wet weather, it had been so dry, we were actually getting a lot of dust complaints later in the fall, which we're not used to getting. But it had been very dry, so a little bit of the rain has helped in getting some of the gravel roads machined. Got some tree debris picked up on Piney Woods and Flatwoods, some shoulder work, particularly on Glade Road. Did a lot of ditching and shoulder work on Glade Road, as well as patching. We put in a number of pipe on Glade Road and got those patched. Patched some potholes in Indian Run, and did a bit of milling and paving at the intersection of Walton Road and Route 11. And that's about it.
All right, very good. All right, Supervisor DeMonts.
I don't have anything. Thank you so much for being here. I know that was a hard act to follow, so.
Yeah, congratulations to all of you. Yeah.
Thank you for being here. I wish you a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you.
Supervisor Bone?
Mill Point, any date for that?
That they're scheduling that now. That should be done here in the next few weeks. But I know we're talking about getting that done soon.
And then-
When I know the date, I'll send you an email, let you know exactly
That'd be great.
when they're going to do it.
And then I was driving down Harding Road, and, sometimes things wash out if you don't have a ditch. I guess it's been washing out over the years. So I'd say it's about halfway down, but, I think some ditching needs to be done on.
You said on Harding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Happy holidays.
Supervisor Shepherd?
As this being my last meeting, I'd just like to say I appreciate you spending your time to come here and work with the board and making yourself available to take notes and report to us as to what's going on. And I'm quite sure the citizens of the county, if they don't already know, would appreciated that too.
Thank you.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks.
Supervisor Fidzikowski.
Yes, I think I only got one thing. Have you heard back at all about the speed study on Craig Mountain Road?
We have not. I do know that they have it and that it's being scheduled. I don't have the results of that yet.
Okay. All right. I think that's it. I'm sure you all were disappointed you didn't get a foot of snow yesterday,
Yeah.
but since you were all ready for it, I'm sure.
We were ready. If we could have had it and then be assured that we wouldn't get any more after it, that'd have been okay. But we were okay with what happened last night.
All right,
too.
well, keep rubbing that rabbit's foot because we're just starting into winter.
Yeah.
But hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Supervisor King.
Start with, I want to tell you, I appreciate you talking to me this evening before the meeting. I know I give you a list this evening. I got a couple more.
Okay, that's fine.
On Craig Mountain Road, I got contacted by a gentleman down there. I know half that road is paved and half of it's gravel. On the paved side, the shoulders are really messed up on it. If you could look at that, I would appreciate it. And last time you was here, I talked to you about a big pothole on Tyler and Stanley Road. Have you had time to go up there?
I have not looked at that. I don't think I got it. But it's Stanley, you said?
Stanley.
Yeah, I'll make sure I take a look at that.
All right.
I didn't get a chance to look at that.
And I mentioned to you on Paul School Road, the drains, when it rains, it's messing up people's driveways.
They'll be doing some ditching on there.
Okay. Thank you.
Vice Chair Biggs.
Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a safe holiday. I only have a question about, is there any update, like on the intersection with Price's Fork and 114, where, there was talk about, trying to have a lane there so you could turn right?
There is a project under design for that right now. You can thank your Commonwealth Transportation Board member, Dr. Smoot, for lobbying for that and getting some funding for that. It's in the design process. And it's going to be a while, but the ball is rolling on it. It's got various target dates that they're hitting as they move forward with the project.
Okay, thank you so much, and good luck with the winter weather.
Thanks.
Mr. Clark, I don't have anything, questions for you, although I will share that on my memories on social media 9 years ago today, I awarded you with parents from Falling Branch Elementary School for your work with the park and ride, and so that popped up on my memory today. So thank you.
That was a good project. It turned out very well.
Yes, it was a positive project and impact, and I just want to thank you for your service. And you said earlier, I've got your cell phone number,
Yeah.
so if there's an issue, I can reach out to you.
I'll just tell you to call your board member. No, I won't. I never do that. I never do that to you guys because it just comes back, so
Sure.
it's fine.
Well, Mr. Clark, we appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Any
you.
other follow-up? Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, all right. Public address. The Board of Supervisors allows citizens to present comments on issues deserving of their attention during public address. Each speaker will have 4 minutes, whether speaking as an individual or a representative. Each person will start the address by stating their name and their address. All comments must be directed to the chair or to other supervisors from the speaker's lectern at the front of the room. Speakers may leave any written statements or comments for the supervisors with the board clerk. Speakers will be judged out of order should the speaker engage in any personal attacks, use profanity or abusive language, or debate between the audience and not address the supervisors. We have a sign-up sheet. First on the list this evening is Mr. Christopher Tuck, former supervisor for District B. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Christopher Tuck. I live now at 541 Wisteria Drive, still in Montgomery County, but a Radford mailing address. And I'm here to address two of the board members, the chair and Mr. Shepherd. First, I want to point out to y'all my last meeting. I want you to think about 4 years ago. Man, I had about 500-600 people show up for my last meeting. I don't know what, and they had so much to say. We went on till about 2 o'clock in the morning. And that did happen, but I want to thank both of you for your service to our community. Darryl, I'll start off with you in regards to this. Our family has been on this board for over 3 decades in one member or another. You've done it for all the right reasons, to make a difference in the community that you grew up in. For all the right reasons you ran, not didn't run ugly campaigns, always ran positive campaigns, and always looked for the common sense solution. And I want to thank you for that, and thank you for your 8 years of service. It was a pleasure being on the board with you. We didn't vote 100% of the time together, but we voted most of the time, but we always knew where we were coming from. And I tell you what, miss you on the board, but look forward to maybe going out and listening to some music out at Price's Fork. Chairman Blevins, wow, you've knocked it out of the park these last 4 years. You've sacrificed a lot for your family. There's been lots of meetings. It seems like every single time I looked on the television, there you were, or you were on Facebook, or there was something that you were attending. Again, you ran for all the right reasons, to make a difference in your community and to do the right thing. And you have done the right thing. You've done a fantastic job. We're going to miss you on the Board of Supervisors. But I know that you're going to continue on to do some great things. And so, again, thank you both for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. I do not have anyone else signed up, but if any citizen would like to come forward, you'll have 4 minutes to address the board. Seeing no one come forward, we'll close public address. Addendum.
We do have an addendum tonight that the board will need to take action on. It's to add a resolution ending the countywide ban on open-air fires and repealing the emergency ordinance prohibiting burning on public and private properties. So we need to take action on that to add it to new business.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Very good. It's added. All right. Items of consent.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Just a second. Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay, on to new business. First, we have Montgomery County Public Schools supplemental appropriation.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Next up, Montgomery Museum of Arts and History appropriation.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
Get this on. I think if they already raised the rest of their money that they needed for this project, is that right?
Come to the mic.
They did.
Good evening.
Good evening. We have raised most of it at this point, enough to do the bidding process and then go under contract in January. So we're well on our way to start that and have an aggressive process to have this delivered by the summertime.
Well, as I stated last meeting, I appreciate y'all going out raising the money and then coming to us.
That's right.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. All right, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Good. All right. Thank you. Okay, Appointment Public Service Authority. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Resolution granting additional holiday, December 26, 2023.
So moved.
Yeah.
Second.
Everybody wants to do that.
Here, eyes all around. All right. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, you'll please call the roll.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fitchukowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
I'm thinking about it. Aye. Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye. Ms.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Resolution of recognition, Clerk of Court Erica Connor.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? We'd just like to thank Ms. Connor for her years of service to the county. Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Resolution of recognition, Commissioner of Revenue Helen Roll.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? We also extend our sincere appreciation to Helen for her many years of service to the county. And was that over 30 years? 34? Am I correct about that?
36.
36. Thank you, Supervisor Motts. 36 years. Wow. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Resolution of recognition, Treasurer Helen St. Clair.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
This one is 39 years.
39 years.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Thank you, Mrs. St. Clair, for your many years of dedicated service. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Resolution of recognition, Senator John Edwards.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd just like to say that one of the things I most admired about Senator Edwards was his accessibility and the fact that whenever we had something, he always tried to be there for us.
And we thank him for his many years of service to Montgomery County as well. Madam Clerk, you'll please call the roll.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Resolution ending the countywide ban on open fires and repealing the emergency ordinance.
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye.
Mr. Fidzikowski?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Motts?
Aye.
Ms. Bone?
Aye.
Chair Blevins?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Whew. County Attorney.
Well, I tell you what, we're flying tonight, Madam Chair. I normally don't say much in this report, but I want to take the opportunity to thank both you, Madam Chair, and Daryl. It's been a pleasure for me to be able to work with you guys and represent you, and really not just work, but I've really enjoyed your company and your companionship and all the communications we've had together. And I also want to thank you for your commitment to the county, and as Madam Chair always says, your service to the county. And you guys really, it's a hard job, and a lot of times it's thankless, and but not from my point of view. And then I just want you both to know that you're going to be missed, especially my friend here next to me. Finally, if there's anything I can do to help you, feel free to call or come by. If I can help, I will. So thank you so much.
Thank you. County Administrator, Mrs. Hill.
Thank you. I have a few things, and then I have some words for you guys as well. I first want to thank the board for approving the resolution to give employees another day holiday. I know everybody appreciates that a whole lot, so thank you very much for that. And I know it just goes to show your dedication to our employees. It means a lot. I attended the Volunteer Montgomery holiday party a week or so ago. That was a nice time with a couple board members. And we had breakfast with Santa this past Saturday with the Employee Engagement Committee. It was a great event. A lot of kids came and their families, grandparents and parents, and it was a really great time. They enjoyed that a lot. I can't say enough about the Employee Engagement Committee because they are just awesome. They're so dedicated. They're just committed to what they do and to make sure that everybody feels involved and part of what's going on at the county. A lot of work goes into that. We have our employee holiday lunch this Wednesday. I think you know about that. And I attended the Chamber of Commerce annual awards dinner with some of you last week. And our chair, Sherry, received the Distinguished Government Leader of the Year Award in recognition of her economic and community contributions. And I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. It's a really great honor. And I appreciate both of you too. You guys really do mean a lot to me and to our staff, and we will miss you very much. You're both very committed to your constituents, to the county employees, and to me, and I really do appreciate all of your efforts and what you've done for us over your years of service. And I just want to wish you both the best, and I know that I'll get to see you in the future, and anytime we can work together, I'll enjoy that very much. And I'd just like to wish everybody happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll start off with board reports. We'll start off with Supervisor Bone.
I would also like to thank my neighbor here, Mr. Shepherd. It's been a pleasure sitting next to you and getting to know you and work with you, and I wish you all the best. And Ms. Sherry, great leadership over the last couple of years, came up to speed wonderfully, certainly did well for our county. Thank you both very much. Want to wish everybody very happy holidays, and I want to thank you for your patience with me over the last couple of weeks being absent, but I am back and, will fully participate. Sometimes family gets in the way, but it's all good. Thank you very much. Have a great year.
Supervisor DeMott.
Well, I don't want to belabor the point, but I will. Daryl, you and I started this together, and I will always have a soft spot for you. We went to our newly elected officials training together, not knowing each other or a soul. And I don't know if you remember, that was when my dad got sick. That was a very hard weekend for me, and you were so kind to me. And I don't want to cry, but I will always have a soft spot for you. I will miss you. Enough of that. Sorry. Sherry, you have just been absolutely wonderful to work with as well. You're such an impressive leader. So quickly coming up to speed the way that you did, and you've been wonderful as chair. I know that your future holds great things for you, and I can't wait to see what you do next. It's been wonderful to work with you. So thank you both. I'm really going to miss both of you, and I wish you all the best in everything that you do. And of course, to everybody, happy holidays. We'll see each other when we return to this room in January, so I'll miss you all. Until then, I hope you all have very wonderful holiday seasons.
Supervisor King.
No, just want to say I appreciate both of y'all. I've learned a lot from each one of you. And Daryl, I know I told you this several times when me and you talked. I didn't know you till you got on this board. And I thank the world of you. You have not let this board change you. And I really appreciate that. I really do. You served your, I call them neighbors. A lot of people call them constituents. I call them neighbors. You served them well. You served this county well. And for that, I will always be grateful to you. Miss Sherry, I appreciate everything you've done for your neighbors. And I think you've done everything that you could that you thought was right. And I appreciate it. I always will appreciate that. You know, a lot of people think to get on this board, you're going to have 2 meetings a month and then you go to the house. That's not true. I know your families will be so glad to see you at home now. Maybe. But it's a lot of work to it, and I do appreciate each one of you. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Merry Christmas. And to our employees, this board do appreciate everything that you do. We really do. Because you are the ones that makes this county what it is today. You're great leaders, every one of you. And I would, at the end, I would like to thank everybody that participated in the Roanoke Christmas parade over the weekend. My understanding is I think we had 100 entries. it was a nice, and everybody come back to the firehouse, and, well, majority of them did, come back to the firehouse and had coffee and cookies and hot chocolate. So maybe next year, if y'all can, you come and join us. Thank you.
Supervisor Fidzikowski?
Well, I'm going to start off by also congratulating the EEC for all their hard work and what they've done, and Bree and her crew for winning that award. I, like VACO, expect more great things to come from this county, and looking forward to it. In regards to our two supervisors that want to leave us, I will say, Daryl, it's been a pleasure working with you. I always enjoyed our conversations, and you being a retired cop, I knew you had my back, so I appreciate that very much. Now, Sherry is a different story. Sherry, I have known her and her family for many years, and we go way back. And I remember the day that my wife and I were sitting around talking and wondering who was going to replace Chris Tuck. And, you know, it's one of those moments you think, well, there's, 100,000 people in this county. Who are you going to pick? And we both immediately thought of Sherry Blevins. And I was so excited, I called Chris and I said, I've got just the person. And he was thinking the same thing. So you were always meant to be, and you've done an outstanding job. I pity any chair that has to follow you, because they can't hold a match to what you've done. You've really done an excellent job, and I really think you've enjoyed it, and that makes it even sweeter. So thank you for what you've done, and like April says, I'm sure you're going to be back, but you'll be down there and we can scowl at you and stuff. But yeah, thanks to both of you. It's been great serving with both of you, and I wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Vice Chair Biggs?
Just to basically say the same thing, thanking our Employment Engagement Committee and Bree for their outstanding work, and our employees, and hoping they're all safe and they have a good holiday. And then that brings me to Daryl and to Sherry. And Daryl, I guess I got your phone number, so I guess I can still contact you about those bus driver stories, because Daryl keeps me informed about the bus driving for the school system. I'm going to really miss you, but I have a feeling that you're going to have more time for your music, which, you're really good. I follow your music on your Facebook page. And I said earlier about Sherry, it's been my privilege to work with her as vice chair, and she's just been an incredible chair because she's been out in the community everywhere all the time. Sort of like what you were saying, Steve. She has represented the board in so many different situations because of her connections that she already had before she became a Board of Supervisor member. She was able to extend into all of those different interactions with clubs and organizations, and the board was always represented, and you did a great job. And both of you, Daryl and Sherry, are good listeners. Like, when I've had to talk to either one of you, you've listened, and I really appreciate that. And I think being a good listener is part of being a great leader. And so I want to thank both of you. I'm going to miss you. And it was even sad at agenda prep. It was sort of sad there with all that. But I know that both of you are going to have a great next chapter. So take care and enjoy your new, what would we say, your new outlook on life. There you go.
Daryl, I just want to congratulate you and thank you for your many years of dedicated service and leadership. You, when I came on, you helped guide me. We ran and campaigned together, And you have truly been an asset to Montgomery County. And we wish you the very best in retirement, and just thank you for your commitment and service. And, enjoy the school bus stories too. And now you'll have more time to spend with your family, your musical career. And we just so blessed to have you, and you are a friend. And then Supervisor Daryl Shepherd.
Making me go last, huh? Well, wow. I never expected all the kudos from everyone, including everybody on the board. I'm overwhelmed. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with each and every one of you and the board members prior to you guys. Some of you are newer than I am. They've all helped me. Todd has been a big help. He's probably the first one to try to coach me when I first got on the board. First I'll say, or second, I guess I'll say, Sherry, I've worked with several chairs, and you're top of the notch, bar none. You get things done, you're dedicated, and you put all the time as necessary to do a good job, which is something that is the reason I've never wanted to be chair, because I didn't have the time to put into it. But I really appreciate you, and I've enjoyed working with you, and I hope to get to holler at you sometime, and if you ever need anything, call me. I'll do what I can. My sidekick over here on the board, we've had some very interesting conversations during breaks and before and after the meetings, and we've enjoyed those.
Yeah, attorney-client privilege is a good thing, yeah.
It is. April, you and I went through that training when we first got on the board, and I really appreciated you. To me, you were a lot smarter and knew a whole lot more about what was going on than I was. So to have you sitting beside me and going, yeah, this is like that worked out well for me. So I really appreciate it. And then sharing all the cop stories with Mr. Fitzkowski. I consider him to be a good friend of mine today, and all of you. And that's another thing. I've got to know more people, and I'm pretty jovial. I usually try to find some lighthearted thing about anything we're talking about, because I think it helps open people up and makes them feel like it's a personal issue, and it just helps. It just makes things go a little smoother. And Mary, I know Annette had been on the board for a long time, and I don't know how long, Gary, I think he'd been on the board for a long time as well, and you were great mentors and help guide people, and you've done a lot to help me, and I appreciate it. And then Sarah, it's been a pleasure and an honor to work with you. It was kind of interesting that my wife knew you before I did, so that worked out well. I got some of the inside scoop, as did you, I think, good or bad. And then Angie, I bless your heart, I love you to death, and I'm so proud that you are our county administrator. I know you're going to do a great job, and I'll be watching. Next, I said this in the lobby earlier. I want to say I really appreciate all the staff that works here and everything they do. I've worked hard to try to, be faithful to them and help them and give them the things that we could to make their lives easier when we can. And I really appreciate them. So you're about to make me cry. I think that's about it. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I do hope that oncoming members in the future, now and in the future, will use this board as a guide, because I think we've worked really well together. I think we've got along well together. We didn't always agree, but we've always come out of the room and not been mad at each other to the point where we couldn't keep moving on. And I think that's an important part of this board. Nothing works if nobody works together. So thank you all very much.
And this is my last board meeting, and it's very bittersweet. It has been my greatest honor to serve the citizens and businesses of Montgomery County, and I will be forever grateful to District B voters that entrusted me with the privilege to be their voice. Mr. Tuck, thank you, I think, for talking me, you and Supervisor Fidzikowski for talking me into running. It has truly been a privilege to serve. To my board, April, Sarah, Daryl, Steve, Todd, my Vice Chair, Mary, I want to thank you for the confidence that you've given me for the last 2 years as chair, and for the support, and for your commitment to always understand that the integrity of this board must be kept in order to keep our public's trust. And even though that we've had differences, I commend you all that you've always been respectful and found a path forward. And why did you do that? Because you each have a heart to serve. And I feel that even though we had differences in our votes sometimes, I believe that you honored and represented your district to the best ability. And that's how democracy works. It's not always 100%, but that's how democracy works, that we have differences of opinions, and that's okay. And at the end of the day, we can still be friends and work together. So I do commend this board for that, and I hope that future boards would have that same guidance, that they would understand how important it is to have respect and how to build relationships, and that when you do have a difference, you find the common ground to move forward. It's all for our citizens. That's what we do to make a positive impact. It has been, I want to thank the staff. You know why we all look good? It's because we have amazing, dedicated staff that work tirelessly every day. They strive for excellence, and they deal with the public every single day. And I'm so proud to work alongside of them and to represent them and to do things that help show appreciation for them. They're the true unsung heroes. They do it every day. This is their livelihood. This is what they've dedicated their lives. We just heard about people in service for 39 years of Mrs. St. Clair and 36 years of Miss Worrell. It's just amazing. And it's also a testament to the family of Montgomery County, that we all work together, we pull together. We survived a pandemic. When I first came on, I hadn't been in office very long, and then the pandemic, they don't train you for that kind of thing, do they? And we all pulled together as a team, and I'm so grateful and so proud of this board. I thank my family for their patience and understanding, because as several of you mentioned, being in public service does come with the sacrifice and patience. So I appreciate each of your families and our staff's families for the late nights. Even though we're going to end early tonight, there have been some nights we've been well past midnight. And I just so am appreciative. Jennifer, thank you all for your support. Josh, these are the people behind the scenes that stay with us. Miss Vicki, thank you. And they do. And please know that we appreciate all the little things that you do. Chris, you're a great asset and compliment to this board and to Montgomery County. Marty, I still have a get out of jail free card right with you. Thank you for your advice and expertise, and always, and again, people don't understand that every agreement and every contract that this county is represented on, you are the person behind that, making sure that our best interest for our citizens is protected. Daryl, we campaigned together. We had some good times, didn't we?
We did.
And I appreciate your being able that you mentored and took me under your wing. Sarah, it's been a pleasure to work with you. I thoroughly have enjoyed it. Miss April DeMotts, thank you for your leadership, always being honest and valid points. Even though I disagreed, you made valid points a lot of times, and I appreciate that you were always upfront. And sometimes you changed my mind on a vote. I said, that girl's got it. She's got that. She didn't see that, you know? And that's what it's about. It's about that sometimes we have different perspectives and that we can all come together on things. Mr. King, thank you. Thank you for your expertise with fire and rescue and all that you've done service for our community. Thank you. Supervisor Fidzikowski, known as Uncle Steve. Steve Fidzikowski was the first person that welcomed my family into Montgomery County, and since then has been part of the family. And he's mentored and guided me, and lots of the things that people are crediting me for are because of him. My Vice Chair, Biggs. Mary is part of this B team, and she's been so supportive and become just a wonderful friend, and I thank you for all that you have done. Miss Angie Hill, we are so proud of you and proud that you will lead the future of Montgomery County as our county administrator. In just over a little bit of a month's time as the official role of county administrator, we have not heard anything but praise from employees, your colleagues, about your strong work ethic, your ability to foster excellent relationships, and that's what it's all about. And so we look forward to the future that as you lead Montgomery County. And again, just thank all the citizens. It has been truly my greatest honor. And with that, I hardly ever use the gavel. With that, we stand adjourned.
Nobody leave until you sign these. The whole file of resolutions.